That is Nico from Lima Bean. We actually have a guy working at Baytech who started at Lima Bean. I think it was like 7th employee or something like that. He couldn't make it to Marco. But I'm going to give the stage to you and you can carry on with your presentation on passwords.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, man.
Cheers. Hi guys.
Hey.
Hi Nico. Now I can't introduce myself anymore because I've already been introduced. Thanks to Spree for the offices, it's really cool. My talk tonight is on password suck. I am currently, unfortunately, not probably a full-time developer anymore. I used to be for the past 7 odd years, and now I ended up in management. So I'm doing a bit of management over at Lima Bean, but hopefully I have some experience to talk from. I reckon most of you guys are probably a lot smarter than me anyway, so my talk is very basic. I wanted to pull in some cool actual code examples and stuff that I was working on, but as things just got too hectic in the end, I just slammed together a lot of stuff. So the idea of this talk is probably just more to get our minds going and think in a certain direction about things. Okay, cool. Without further ado, who of you has one of these?
A lanyard. No.
Like a keychain with 1 million keys on it. Yeah, he has like 3 or 4.
I've got a bunch.
You got a bunch. Do you enjoy carrying around your set of keys?
No.
No.
No, it sucks. Why does it suck? Because it's in the way and you have to always like, which one is it? What the hell? Anyway, this is actually not mine. This was left in a house that we rent, and it's does anyone drive a Polo? I don't know. So it was lying around. I was like, I can actually use this. Cool. Anyway, so and just as we in the old days of doors and locks and manual stuff, we had 1 million keys, and many people had many keys, and it's very irritating. Just so in the modern days of the interwebs, now we have 1 million passwords to remember. Every single site you register on, you have to put in your username and your password, username and your password. At least now most of the internet started catching on, you can use your email address instead of your password. Because previously you had to use a unique username, and then the username was taken, you had to use another username, and it was just one big mess up. So we've got to the point on the internet where there are just a heck load of websites that you want to use and you want to register, and you always have to put in a new password, and you always end up forgetting your password. Unless if you guys are using the same password on every site. So there are a couple of solutions out there for people who try to help us with these things, password lockers and
1Password
saves and 1Password, LastPass. Who of you guys use LastPass? Quite a lot.
1Password. Okay.
I haven't seen 1Password yet. I'll chat to you about that. So if I cover anything that's covered by these guys, you know, blame me. So I think the one issue that I have with LastPass is that you have to set it up on your local machine pretty much to be able to utilize it. To me, that's not the end solution. Anyway, so the 1 million password dilemma, just like having 1 million keys suck, so also having 1 million username and password suck. We all know that. We are developers. We make life better and more efficient. So if something is a drag, a developer finds a way to optimize it and come up with a solution. So it's in the ball's in our court, really. I mean, as developers, we develop the internet to the point where it is now. And if anything on the internet needs to change, it's not going to come from the world. It's going to come from us to come up with a solution. We are supposed to come up with better solutions, alternatives to the 1 million password dilemma. Okay, so I'm just going to ramble through a few possible solutions, and hopefully you guys can come up with some more. That's kind of what I was hoping, seeing as it is a PHP meetup. It's not about me. So the globally recognized proxy login accounts, Google, Facebook, Twitter, etc. That's pretty cool. Being able to go to a site and you see login with Facebook, login with Google. I always just click that button, and then you don't have to worry about the whole login procedure, don't have to worry about your passwords. And that's pretty cool. That websites do offer that. The pros are that everyone has one of these accounts, at least. Any of you guys don't have a Google account? Okay, I'm probably talking to the wrong crowd here. And there's already APIs and functionality that the guys have developed, so it's all there. You just get the code base, slap it on your website, and you can log it in. So that's pretty cool. The cons, I'm not sure. Maybe I should throw it to you guys. Yeah.
A con with that is I've heard of cases of guys having the sign-on like that from a company like Google, and then Google shuts down their account and it locks them out, and then it takes 2 to 3 months to get back in again.
That's
and then every site that you've been linked onto, you're now dead.
Just the idea of Google shutting down your account is, I'm already panicking. If Google goes down, most of my life probably goes down. Anyway.
Some of the websites, I don't necessarily want to give them personal information to have a login. So, and when I log in with Facebook, then they get access to information that I want them to have.
Exactly. We work with SEO. I mean, aren't you guys concerned with just sharing information everywhere?
The other problem is if you log in with Google once and you come back later log in with Facebook, but Facebook reports your email as somebody at facebook.com, you have 2 separate accounts. Another user has to manage them and pair them up and match them and stuff like that.
For tracking, it also gets a little bit more insane, especially with the Facebook and Google integration. Because the moment you sign in with Google onto Facebook, it's going to ask you for your Gmail contacts. Then it's going to map you up against all of them. It can also, and it's not necessarily who you're friends with or sending out friend requests. It's that now Facebook can track that social network.
Yeah, the idea of being spammed on social already freaks me out anyway.
At work, does.
Yeah, I do all the time.
If somebody hacks your Facebook account, then they've got access to all your stuff.
Yeah.
Just one password, to open everything.
No.
Also, I think it doesn't really look very professional for certain websites to have like a login with Facebook when you're something like what I do in the legal industry. It doesn't really,
Yeah, I don't go well
match the
together.
profile. I mean, so I would never use a system like
Would
that.
you log into F&B with
Yeah, the financial use
I would just say from my side, I don't think the kind of one login password solution will work for all banks. Maybe that's the wrong approach. Maybe there should be something that works for that.
And also, as you said, I mean, you disseminate your personal information all over the planet, basically. And this, especially in South Africa now, we're going to have the POPI piece of legislation that certainly will impact on that, in the sense that there's going to be a lot more control over the way companies handle personal information. And this will be, I mean, like a mini revolution, I think, in South Africa. I think most of you guys will have to adjust your terms of use according to the requirements of this new piece of legislation. And there's quite a number of consents that you will have to require from your users before you're safe, and you don't process information without the consent of your users. You have to tell them what you do with the information that you collect from them, for instance.
Is that like the Data Protection Act?
It's POPI.
proof of
what? Something like that. But it's a South African piece of legislation. It's really dedicated to the South African.
Maybe you should do a talk on that sometime. Sounds really interesting.
I have had to look through it for one of my websites, which collects a very large amount of personal data. So I have to cover my back in the sense that I must get my user's consent before anything happens. Because otherwise the regulator could say, hey, Martin, what are you doing with this personal information? Because, like for instance, in immigration, I get personal information concerning the gender of the people, their sexual orientation, because when I process a life partner permit, for instance, between same-sex partners, so automatically I can detect a lot of things about these people, which are financial. So, could be an issue. I mean, if it's being disseminated, or if I resell the information, okay, I know this guy, he's so you can sell him this and sell him that because of this and this and that. So the ramifications are quite wide-ranging. As a POPI.
Kind of almost makes me think like when you install a new Google app and it tells you what it's going to have access to, and sometimes you go through the list and you're like, what? No way I'm installing this app. It's just going to steal everything I have. Okay, so I think we're all seeing some of these cons over there. So, I say, as developers, we should be using universal logins as far as possible, because it does help a lot for the general public to be able to have that option. It's probably in their court whether they want to do it or not, but I think if you would ask Joseph on the street, he would say he would rather have that option to log in with Google, rather than remembering another username and password.
So
Okay.
What do you call a universal login?
But
Like
this-
a gateway through everything or something?
Yeah,
A Gmail.
yeah, it's like a Gmail account or a Facebook account, and then you log in with
Yeah,
that.
But
So.
I can create any Gmail account and say it's you.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but that's a problem. How do you actually,
But you're still linking that
how do
to
you
your
actually
site.
pair, I mean, how do you actually pair an account with the person, the real person behind it?
But I could call
No.
myself Joe So.
Yeah,
And
it's the internet.
Yeah.
You can create fake accounts on all these websites
Oh, sure.
anyway, so
But-
it doesn't really make a difference.
I don't think it's about verifying the identity of the user. It's more
Mhm.
about just logging in and
Yeah.
it's indication of
Okay.
It's just that access level. It's a key, pretty much, that we're talking about, not what's behind the door at this stage. Okay,
The reason why I'm saying, sorry, I'm interrupting.
yeah.
But I've been thinking for many years, how do you actually identify users, I mean, the authenticity of a user on the internet? Because as someone said, you can create any profile. I can call myself Jacob Zuma. And I'm not sure it's impossible.
No, no,
You,
it's impossible.
you worked on it. It's impossible?
I've not worked on it, but I follow privacy trends very closely, and there are a lot of people like me who are going to go out of their way to make it impossible.
Make a note.
But I mean, there's a genuine interest of being authenticated on the internet.
so
Yes, yes, every government out there desperately wants that information.
Not from a government perspective.
no, but
Okay, I'm not prepared to trust any organization out there with that information.
I think, yeah, sorry guys, I think this is like getting way off topic now.
No, but
Yeah, we can have this
We've
discussion
got an electronic
after.
signature on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Carry
sorry,
on.
sorry.
Okay,
I'm
so
just getting carried away.
I think we can
It's
get
because
back
I'm
to
on
that
camera, so-
afterwards. It's,
Yeah.
it's the extreme GoPro that's extreme PHP.
Throw a chair.
Okay.
Don't tell Mike's wife I'm here.
So she'll see it on the GoPro website. Your privacy has been infringed. Okay.
It's finished.
Okay, so that was option one. Option two is we assume someone's email address and inbox is secure. Okay, that's a very large assumption to make, but and that kind of ties in with what you said, verification, because I would say mostly at this stage on the internet, your email address is your verification. That's your your final key. That's what you use to sign up to a website. It's what you use to reset your password. That's the way the website interacts with you at a final point. Because mobile networks and stuff aren't like global at the moment, so you can't just send an SMS. It's a lot of hassles. But an email address is always accessible, so that's kind of like the go-to. So as option two, I would say we make the assumption that someone's email address and inbox is secure, because it's 2014. It should be. I know it's not. Okay,
Browser stack, 20 minute
shouldn't
mail.
it be? Shouldn't it be? We should maybe ask ourselves that question. If it's not, why isn't it? And why would, as a developer of a website, why would we make that our problem? Isn't it in their court that they should be using a secure email address and a secure inbox? I mean, it's so easy actually to get access to people's emails, but that is kind of like the final step on a web process, on a website registration process. Is always the email's the final step. So let's, for a second, assume or kind of enforce that the email address and the inbox is going to be secure. It's going to be behind an encrypted connection. It's going to be password protected, and only the person using your website is actually going to have access to their email. And that, in essence, is what most people already do, because they say reset your password, and it sends an email to their password, to their email address. So most websites are already assuming this, in actual fact. So we might as well keep going with this and take it one step further and make that full assumption. Okay, so assuming that email inbox is secure, we can send any sensitive information to the email inbox we want, usernames, passwords, URLs, etc. Okay?
You don't send passwords in clear.
I know, everyone keeps saying that, okay? You don't send passwords, but you do send a reset password link. So what's the difference? There's no difference. If you send someone a link that says reset your password, you might as well send them their password, because there's no difference.
Yeah.
If someone intercepts that email, they can do exactly the same thing.
They can do a reset. Just
they can do a reset.
Yeah.
So
that link would have expired on it.
So, but
if
that's where the whole, you know, what's your birthplace and stuff comes in, where it's a two-factor kind of thing. But yeah, like you say, it's plain text.
I like the two-factor thing, and that's why a lot of decent websites actually implement what's your mother's maiden name or.
That's not really two-factor. The two-factor that Google and a couple there's the one group I use have started as well. Their DNS made easy. So look, if somebody gets control of my DNS, I am screwed. And the two-factor comes down to matching your cell phone to your account as well.
And your phone gets stolen. So there's always
you have to get an SMS and respond to that as well.
That's also 3D secure what you now see with your online.
Google, those guys that are using DigitalOcean, they also have two-factor where you must download Google, it's an app in the App Store that Google has released, which is an algorithm, and you scan a QR code on the DigitalOcean website, and that matches up a time signature to the time signature in your phone. And so every, I think, 30 seconds, the code against that particular site changes. So to log in, you have to put your username and password, and then it says, what's your token? You must go to your phone, and that is in the background of your phone updating on a timestamp against that particular snapshot from the server.
Similar
to what Capitec does.
Yeah, similar to the RSI and the RSA.
There's another one similar to that where they use a very high frequency, and then your phone listens in on it, and then yeah, it links back like as your phone's on a separate network, and then the high frequency plays through your audio and it links back. So you don't have to go and scan anything on the thing as long as you've got that app running on your phone.
Sure. That sounds very interesting. Yeah. So that adds the extra step that you can put in, but even that, I mean, someone can steal your phone. They can steal your identity. In actual fact, if you go and register a bank account at whatever, F&B, they give you a piece of paper with your PIN code on for your new bank. I mean, we keep trying to make things so extremely secure, but the banks give you a piece of paper with your code on. You get into your car, you put the code in the dashboard or in your, I mean, and in South Africa people get robbed like once every 2 weeks. So how secure is the real world?
The bank is not concerned with the security, it's concerned with its own liability. And as soon as you've got the code and you're supposed to take care of it, if you dispose of it, it's your own problem.
So why don't we take the approach and say,
the bank is not concerned with security,
and say it's in your court.
But it's an issue of liability. Yeah.
We say your email address should have been secured.
Yes.
That was your responsibility.
Yeah, then can shift the blame onto you instead of.
But that's the same as us being developers.
It's exactly the same in the real world.
It's not my responsibility what you do with your email password.
Yeah.
You're giving it to me, I trust that you're 100% secure.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I think I should probably be going a bit faster here, so I'm going to try. Okay, so but it is a big assumption to make. It's a rough assumption to make. I think it's one that we can consider actually making in certain instances. Okay, so from there I'm just going to go on to a cool nifty thingy. If we assume something like that you can typically do, I just call it the encrypted URL auto login. Okay. So that's something I actually implemented for a couple of customers because they wanted it and I thought it was just awesome. So the idea is you pretty much build a JSON object containing username, password, the action that the website should be performing, and redirect afterwards, whatever. Pretty much a JSON object that says this is the username and password and this is what I want the website to do whenever I go to it. You encrypt the JSON string, two-way encryption with a key on the website. Okay, you put that encrypted URL, you build a receiver for it on the website so that you can just send it through a query string, a get variable or whatever. On the website you can catch that variable from the URL, decrypt it and do the awesomeness. So the end result is you send someone an email with a link that looks like that. Example.com auto, which is whatever your variable wants to be, and you pretty much just send that encrypted string, encrypted JSON object. The website decrypts it, and now you can give it a whole list of pretty much actions to do. You say this is the username and password, so log me in and do something. So typically, let's say it's an online shop. and the guys want the ability to get an email that says these items are out of stock, order new items. And then when they click on the link and they're somewhere in a weird place, then pretty much it goes to the website. Now first, okay, no, log in. Okay, first log in once again. And this whole thing that they have to go through again, whereas this logs them in from the link itself, and it performs any action.
So what do you store the private key on your side and give them the...
I don't know how you do that.
How do you do that?
You're emailing them that link. So
No, you're emailing
What are you encrypting it with on your side? If you
Yeah.
do it in the client browser.
You have to keep
What do
a
you mean?
portion
It's a
and
dual
they have to
encryption.
keep a
It's
portion.
whatever the hell you want to do it with.
Yeah.
You make up your own encryption.
Oh,
You
server side, okay.
do whatever you want to.
It's PHP. It's a PHP Meetup. Everything happens server side. So they get to the website with an encrypted link, and PHP, your system, decrypts that link with your own key, your own hash that you decided
So
on.
how do you send them that link?
In an email.
So what's
So
the
you
difference between
remember-
sending a password?
This.
Nothing.
Well, once again, because
We're
this you
assuming
can
email.
control. You can put a timeout on this,
Okay.
for
Have you
example.
put an expiry on your
Or not,
implementation?
Of course.
Oh, man.
What site was it?
99%. The first thing people are going to do is save that into a bookmark, which means it's now on Google, which means it's now shared across all of their devices everywhere and is no longer secure.
Well, you have your timeout on that. I mean, you send them the email, they click the link, and they go through.
I mean, I'm sure that is
The other question, do you salt that?
It's your
It doesn't
It's your
matter.
encryption. You decide how secure you want to make it.
No. This won't come down to encryption, because if you're not salting it with just something extra unique for that instance, if somebody gets your private key, just through
And
however.
all your users are fucked.
Yes.
Well, if someone gets your private key, they might as well have gotten the root access details to your Linux server. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. We're going back to the same point over and over. Like, they might as well have done something else, and that would have been easier. They might as well just get your lead developer drunk one night and take them to a torture chamber and get all the details from that. I mean, this is South Africa, man. Anyway, so it's just the whole point of this conversation is not to tell you let's do this at all. That's what I'm saying. I think the point is just to get our minds going, because what is out there sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to come up with solutions. So I love the feedback that you guys are giving me. It's awesome, and that's the whole point. And that's why afterwards, let's go get at each other's throats and get some knives. And this is the right way. No, it's not. Anyway, okay, I'm joking.
But if you use this for like e-commerce, I mean, imagine, email marketing, you can completely change the click-through, because now the click-through is actually adding the product to the shopping cart, going to the checkout page and waiting for the credit card information.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
So that is a
Yeah,
typical
it's that
place where I would do that.
checkout almost that makes it.
because you're improving your steps in your conversion.
You're just
you know,
reducing
funnel.
a whole bunch of barriers.
Yeah.
They're well clear.
Click and it charges your card straight away. Come on, guys.
So the end result was the people who I did this for absolutely loved it. It made the user's experience on the website amazing. They never have to log in again. I think I actually wrote that. Never have to log in again. Okay? Forget their password, whatever. It doesn't matter. They go into the website, they click a link that says, forgot my password, they go to their Gmail, they click the link and boom, they're in. Simple. No passwords, none of this nonsense. We assume their email address is secure. With that, we can do whatever. I mean, even if they bookmark the encrypted URL, that's on them. They might as well have encrypted their
What if
password.
I steal that URL and use it on my
It
computer?
should be, well look,
It should be linked to my
No, it should always have an expiry of.
But it doesn't seem to have one because you.
Oh no, you'll add a term.
It won't be in the parameters. It will be hidden once you've decrypted it.
Yeah, you can do all that server side.
No, I understand that, but I thought that you didn't do that. I mean, that there was no expiry.
You can even, if you want them to access it once, you can even build that in. I mean, you click, it goes through, it does it, and then that link has been used. So it's a one-time link. There's no, you are in control of that on the server side. That's the whole point. And you can implement all the encryptions and securities and fallbacks and everything that you want
What I
to.
didn't get, I mean, you said later on that there was no longer any password or email required.
Well, it's not, because you just click again and say, I forgot my password, go to email, you click the link and it logs you in.
You still need.
So when
account address.
Sorry, I couldn't listen to both of you. Yeah.
Does it generate a new encrypted link while I'm missing something?
Yes.
Yeah, because the old one, the moment you clicked it, it expired.
Okay.
It's a one-time link. It's like a one-time pin. Yeah. Like a one-time pad or pin or whatever. It's the same thing. Okay, I'm going to try to move on. Yeah. Yeah, and another bonus of that was originally we just wanted to log the guy in, and then we're like, but wait a minute, it's a JSON string. We can like give it 1,000,000 parameters if we want to. So we ended up building something that you can tell it log in, add stuff to the cart, take them to the checkout page, remove this from the wish list, whatever. Going with this example, it wasn't e-commerce. Okay. So the cons are people can hack into your email account and everything else. So what? I mean, they can hack into everything. Most of the massive, large-scale thefts in the world are done actually by physical people extorting passwords and getting whatever instead of doing a digital hack. So that's the con, and that was pretty much because of our assumption that we had in the beginning. We assume the email address is secure. We have to assume that something is secure. It's like giving someone a PIN to their bank account. You give them, and then you're like, I'm assuming you're securing that. It's on your.
I'm more concerned about the transport between the email and where you are.
But that is what I'm saying. The inbox, the email, all that, you assume that's secure because it should be.
Same thing as a reset password.
No, but you say you assume that the email is secure, but it goes through the internet.
Well, you can use SSL or ICPS.
No, the problem is email is like a postcard.
Yeah.
Encrypted email is like something in an envelope.
Still easy to get into. Look, it's the same concern as sending a reset password link. If I'm in the middle, I grab it, I click it, I change the password.
Or it's the same as someone can steal your cell phone for the two-step verification. No, isn't that easier?
Nico, I think the one thing I worry about in the system is that it's not only people can break into your account, but they can do so without your knowledge. So if you send the password in an email, they get the password, they can now log into your account, do whatever they want. But if you just send the reset link, they will never know your password, and next time you log in, you can see it's been reset by someone. That's the huge difference. Same with your PIN from the bank. If they steal you, knock you out, grab your paper, you know they have your PIN. But if the bank were to mail you a PIN and somebody intercepted it, they could do what they want without you knowing about it.
Okay, well you can also log this on the website. You use this link here and here, just put a log up for them. I mean,
yeah,
you can let them know.
You're
in control.
It's like Google says your account's been logged into under these other locations. Like
exactly. I mean, it's once again it's server side. You can do whatever you want with that. You are in control. So the only assumption that's a dangerous one is pretty much assuming the route to their email address and back is secure. And we pretty much have to assume that. Okay, I'm going to try to move on, sorry. So, option number 3 is assume someone's PC desktop is secure. That's a massive assumption to make. It's laughable, actually. So
that's the assumption you just made previously, because once you send someone a link and they've accessed it on their email, it's no longer within their email. It's in their browser history, it's logged, they can do anything. But they've taken it out of the secure environment.
Most people save all their passwords in their browser anyway, and so if you get to their desktop, you just switch on, you got access to all the websites.
It's the same as this option.
It's in a sense, yeah. In a sense. I think you can secure your... Anyway, okay, yeah. It's in a sense the same, but whose PC desktop is really secure? How hard is it to get into the Windows machine?
You've picked a really contentious...
I love it. Don't you guys love it? Huh? I love it. I love this. Okay, anyway, it's extreme PHP. Okay. So assume someone's PC desktop is secure, and that just opens awesome things. So you can now build an actual key that people can use to unlock websites. Okay? So use website keys. So what you have here, pretty much just do that and leave this key stack on your computer's desktop. Okay? And they can use these keys to unlock any website because we assume their desktop is secure. There. So you pretty much have an actual XML file on the computer, on the dashboard. The XML file contains the username, the password, the address, the name, surname. You can add encryption to this file if you want to. Okay, so pretty much this whole drag and drop thing with HTML5 that's so awesome and the world changing. So you can pretty much leave the keys there and you drag it from your desktop onto the website where it says drag here. You drag. Yeah, out right now. But it's the same assumption. You're assuming it's secure at that point. Okay?
You've got SSH keys on your computer, I'm sure. Public keys. Because you don't want to type your password in to log into X.
I can, okay, well, I'll get to the pros here now, but okay, the option allows for you to register with keys as well. Registration with keys. So you have an old key that's already there, and if it's not encrypted for a specific website, which would be the better option, but let's say it's not encrypted, it's a generic key. So you get to a website, they say register or drag here. You take your key, you drag it in, and it already pulls in all the details for you, okay? Username and password. It's a preset username and password. So you can, well, we're assuming, okay? We're assuming a lot of stuff here. And then you guys can come up with ways to make it even better, okay? Okay. So, you drag all these keys onto the website and it gets unlocked. Don't you think that'll be awesome? Just never remember a key. You just, oh, this website, okay, drag the key over because it's all secure. Okay, after registration on a website, I have the option to download your key. So you can let websites generate the keys. There's like a universal rule that goes out. These are the website keys and this is the code we use. So you register on a website and you say download my key and download it to your desktop. Okay? And pretty much when you get to the website again, you just drag the key that they generated for you with their own encryption, okay, whatever, for all intents and purposes. And you just drag it up and it signs you in. So it's an actual key. Okay, a universal standard will have to be implemented for website keys. Pretty much stack them up. Have a folder on your dashboard full of keys. Or password protected folder, or whatever. But then you're getting a lot of passwords again. Okay, so the pros are you're dragging and dropping, which is awesome. Okay, so you don't have to worry about any click, 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 what, just drag and drop. And another one is your mother could understand it. I can see my mother just dragging those keys.
You're lucky.
So, those are the pros. The cons, I don't even have to go into them actually. Do you really want all your passwords lying on your PC dashboard? Okay, that's probably something to add in. But, worth thinking about. Why don't we just have actual keys? Why don't you try and take that one step further? Let someone, if you want to have a key, let them have like a generic USB key that they carry around with them. Some people do that. And then you just put it in your PC when you're on the dashboard, it runs its stuff, it goes boom, okay, cool, yeah, this dude is secure, this is him. And all your security is stored on this key. And somehow people are more open to that. But what's the difference? It's exactly the same thing. It's in essence dragging and dropping the key. It's exactly the same thing. You're now just assuming the USB flash drive is secure.
An algorithm based on a fingerprint instead of having a USB.
That's actually going to be happening soon. The iPhone 5s and 6 upwards. There's some people who are working on what's the correct name for unlocking?
Touch ID.
Touch ID.
Fingerprint. I was just going to say.
So it'll be a Bluetooth between the computer and the phone. And it'll just be scan, go.
The problem that I have with that is then you need this extra scanner.
And it is superior to every other technique by orders
well,
of
it's
magnitude.
definitely superior to anything I'm mentioning here.
You won't leave your finger lying around and you won't forget.
But how feasible is it? How soon are you going to have these fingerprint scanners out in Africa and the island countries? I mean,
can I be honest? I've seen more fingerprint scanners in Africa than I have anywhere else in the world. I'm not shitting you. Every cafe, every teller goes, taps in your order. No one in Starbucks in the UK does that, and no one in any cafeteria anywhere in the UK or New Zealand I've been to does that. Everywhere here, scan the finger, then they can access the terminal.
Our office building is fully fingerprint, so to access the lift, you use your fingerprint. To open the door, you use your fingerprint. There is no keys and locks in that entire building.
Do you guys think it's the same in Malawi? And Mozambique.
Using fingers in Malawi.
It will be soon in Malawi, I guess.
No, it won't.
You kind of know this.
Anyway, so that is making another. You need something else now.
From Africa's context, internet is a bigger problem than fingerprints.
At its very root, sucks no matter which way you go. It's a scale between how easy you want it to be, how simple it is to use, versus how secure it is.
And that's where the assumptions come in.
You-
At some stage, you have to assume this is secure because.
You look, if you want to make something really secure, you can, but then it becomes a nuisance for the users, and in certain instances they'll just stop using it. I have one friend's father. He has to, okay, he's a senior executive at Anchor. For him to get access to his email or any of his secure, well, the VPN, etc., he has a device on him that he has to put in. He has to scan his fingerprint, it'll give him a one-time PIN, and type that in. It's very similar to the Capitec thing. But it's a nightmare for him to use. But nobody should ever get access to that data. We have to weigh up how valuable is the data that we're storing compared to the ease of somebody breaking, or the ease of somebody breaking in.
Well, not the ease, the use of that data afterwards. Because people will always break. Someone will always get in if they want.
Yes.
It's what do you care about once they get in? It's like your house. Here there's massive security. Overseas there's not much security. Here there's big security. But again, it's a decision you make personally to say, I'm going to put this security in place because I value this stuff inside this much.
Sure.
And therefore the security for any website is based around how important is the data inside it.
That tech is 6 months away for anyone with an iPhone. So one password we were talking about earlier, the iPhone app, you unlock with your Touch ID, and then it autofills and goes into the website. And if you locked an app which creates a one-time password, like the Google Authenticator, with Touch ID, then that is suddenly like, that's a thing. It is super high level, executive tech, and it's anyone with an iPhone can use it. It's this close to being like commonplace. If we're here this time next year, I think it would be quite a different discussion.
Maybe we should have this discussion again then. And everyone has iPhones.
Like it.
Anyway, so do you really want your password lying around on your dashboard? I think for most of the websites we use, you probably don't care. Whatever. A lot of websites that I need a username and password for, I really don't care if it gets hacked. It's just a nuisance for me to need to have an account to actually use the website. Yeah, because there's a million websites. So obviously, I'm not going to leave my password for my internet banking anywhere, ever. It's ridiculous. Or my Google password for that matter. But some websites, it's just, you just want to check it out, you know? But then you have to register. You have to remember the password. You may just want to do the trial for a month. Anyway, okay. So I'm sorry, I'm taking so long now. So option 4 is create an online password vault for everything. That kind of like LastPass or something like that. Some things with LastPass. Okay, anyway, so let me just ramble through this quickly. Implement an accessible API for this one password vault to rule them all. And a couple of ways that you can go about this is have a pure in-browser way of using it, which I tend to prefer. I would love to just do everything in the browser and never leave the browser, because I actually travel to a lot of places where I don't have any mobile coverage whatsoever. So relying on mobile networks, to me, sucks, and it's not an answer. For people living in the metro, it's probably an answer, but for other people, it's not. I want to be able to fly to Fiji and have nothing except like this internet connection in an internet cafe and be able to access everything still. Okay, so that being said, and then I think at the login page of whatever website you're using, just have a little prompt that says get details from password vault. You click it.
Who is in control of that vault?
You are in control. Yes, we can. Okay, yeah, I know. That's part of the cons. Okay, but
does it exist? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I think there's actually quite a couple of them around. Yeah. Okay, I gotta get going. Sorry, guys. So, okay, so it opens up. Once you click that link that says "Get Password from Password Vault," it opens up in a new tab, redirects to the Password Vault page or website, and you pretty much just attach a query string that says, "This is the website where I want to log in." Okay. Your reaction is just so funny. Okay, you pretty much log in with your final username and password that you registered on Password Vault. That locks everything that you know inside, okay? And it immediately shows you the username and password for that website. Because it knows who you are, it knows what website you're trying to access, okay? There's accessible API built for this whole thing. Okay, next one is you can have a mobile phone example. There's the mobile. At the login, you show a QR code that says, get the details from Password Vault. Okay, so you just scan it with your mobile phone quickly. The phone goes to Password Vault with the current domain name attached, and the email and password login to your vault gets shown on your phone. So you can scan it with a QR code if you really want to. It goes there, username and password. Okay, cool, this is what it is. Okay, immediately shows username and password for the site, and then there's a one-time PIN. Instead of a password vault showing username and password, let it generate a one-time PIN valid for 1 minute or whatever. Okay? And then on the website where you're trying to log in, you pretty much just have a prompt that says login with a one-time PIN, login with password vault, one-time PIN. You fill it in, you click submit. It sends the one-time PIN through to password vault. Password vault gets that, it accepts it, and it pretty much tells the guy, log in. It's cool. This dude is authenticated. Simple as that. So you don't even have to fill in your details on the actual website. It does it for you. It trusts Password Vault to tell you this is cool. The guy is registered. Anyway, and you can, it really is. Anyway, so pros, everything is in the browser. It's device independent. You can do it on any mobile, any internet device in the world in your browser, right there. So currently you can't do that with LastPass, for example. Or you can go to the website, fill it in, copy the details, whatever. But this is all kind of just the user experience for you. The cons is getting the whole world to buy into the idea of one password vault. I probably won't trust it. I don't think kind of other people will. Don't know. Okay, questions, criticisms, Rotten Tomatoes, anything? I think we have a lot of questions already.
Lots of tomatoes.
Lots of tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much it. The whole idea is just to stir up a bit and get us going. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really good. Cool. Thank you. Thanks so much. Guys, you can go back through to that side. You can have yourself something to eat.